Broadcasting live from the only establishment in town that can't kick him out. His own basement. The world according to Rocket.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yep. Hey, gang. How are you? Welcome to Monday Night Live. Somebody said there was a football game over the weekend. Anybody see that? That game? Alabama game? Anybody see it? I didn't see that. What happened? Seriously, what happened? I think I'm going to move the mic over to this side for a second and see. Oh, that means my little piratey guy doesn't work. Let me put him over here. How about that? Oh, that thing is in the way. I don't know. It's an experiment here. Try that. That gives me a little more length on my headset cord. Hey, gang. How are you? Go Big Orange. Man, I tell you, it was just like paperwork. We got up 20-7. And then the wheels fell off. Now, a lot of that has to do with Yoda being on the other side at halftime. And I apologize for the noise in the background. I have some, the people that I'm living with have a very noisy situation there. And they watch TV about this time on Monday nights. And so I just got to deal with it the best I can. I apologize in advance. So, as I was saying about Yoda, Nick Saban is not rumored to be the best coach in college football history for no reason. He's earned that reputation. He's really, really good. So they got blown out pretty good in the first half, as we recall. And so Yoda goes into the halftime. He said, okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And you do that. And then you do this. And then we'll be just fine. And then, oh, don't forget to give the refs their $100 bill when you go back out on the field. And also, let's put Tennessee in a 4th and inches situation. No question they will try to run it from the shotgun. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me, man? Holy crackers. Stingray. What do you get when you cross a zebra with an elephant? A rigged game. Well, I'm not big on the rigged game thing. Here's my theory about the refs. Look, you have to assume or presume, I guess presume is better. You have to presume that there are going to be bad calls and things are going to go against you, right? I mean, this is just my theory. I could be full of shit. I don't know. But my feeling is that you have to build that into the plan to where you just have to beat them like a rented mule while you're beating them to be able to sustain the hardships and the trouble and the cheating that's most definitely going to come. You have to build that into the plan. You just got to keep beating them. And we did not do that. Not at all. And yes, the ref calls are amazing. But that's part of it. You have to win so big that even when that happens, it does not matter. It has no significant effect. That's my feeling about bad calls and being on the road and whatever. You have to be such a frickin' monster that when bad winds begin to blow, you just flip them off and say, yeah, okay, watch this. But you can't do that when you make just really dumb mistakes. And let me just talk about the dumb mistake. Look, I'm the biggest Josh Heupel guy in the world. Josh Heupel and Danny White are the best thing that ever happened to Tennessee, in my opinion. Certainly in a very long time. And I'm going to bitch and moan, and because I love them so much, I feel like I got a right to bitch and moan about it. Now, the 4th and inches thing that happened, they're in the third quarter. We're still ahead. I don't mind that you go for 4th and inches in your own territory on the road against Alabama. But you don't run that from the shotgun. You run that under center. And you learn that in junior high school. It was just really, really dumb. Now, and we're going to make dumb mistakes. Remember what I said about the refs? You have to build the ref's bad call into your game plan and to the people that you play and how you attack people downfield. And you have to build boneheaded plays and boneheaded calls from everybody, not just the players, but from the coaches. You have to build that in. You have to understand that that's going to happen. And it's no reason to be crucified over it. But that was a dumb play. Now, if he does that again, it then becomes stupid, right? And I bet he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that again in that same situation. All you got to do, I don't know whether you watch the Philadelphia Eagles or not, but all you have to do is run a quarterback sneak like they run a quarterback sneak out on 4th and inches. Hell, they go for 4th and 2. But they get everybody together, and then they get Jalen Hurts under the center, and then they got a big-ass guy behind him. I mean, literally behind him, like close behind him. Hike, hut, boom, and then they just go, and you get your 4th and inches every time. And you say, well, Rocket Man, they probably didn't want to do that because they don't practice that. Bullshit. You've got to practice that. You have to have that. You have to have that play. And you need to be practicing that play. You need to be practicing for 4th and inches and 4th and 1. And you don't practice it from 5 yards back. That was a dumb play. And I implore you, Coach Heupel, don't turn that into a stupid play by doing that again. All right, I still love you. Let me see what y'all got to say about that. Josh Heupel has had top 10 offense in the nation every single year as a head coach until incompetent Joe Milton last year, number 1 passing offense this year. Okay, look, now let me deal with that. Let me tell you, share my wisdom on that. Joe Milton is not Hendon Hooker. Right? And I suspect that Joe Milton is going to end up not being Nico Iamaleava either. But you know what I like about this whole situation is they are giving Joe Milton an opportunity to get to the NFL. That's why they're playing him. Man, I have soul searched this. I've prayed on this, and I don't think he's accurate enough to be in the NFL. Because the worst of guys in the NFL are deadly accurate. Most of them anyway. Right? But I appreciate the fact that that's what's going on. And I think that's what's going on. They're giving him a chance to get drafted. And he can't do that if he's sitting on the bench, and I get it. And at the same time, they're giving Nico some time to develop and practice. Right? So I understand your frustration with Milton. I think Saturday was the best game Milton's ever played. I mean, yes, he missed people. He's not an accurate passer. I'm sorry, he's just not. But I tell you what, he was a weapon when he would go student body right, student body left, and then he would look for that corner or safety and just run over them, like I've been saying all year long. And I was excited about that. I'll take Joe Milton, the runner, any day of the week. And he even looked like he was just kind of had some fire in his belly about running over people at the end of the plays. And I really like that a lot. There he goes, Mead. Hi, you Mead. Thanks for being here. No matter which team you root for, the officiating should be a concern. Any team can wind up on either end of it. Yep, you're right. You're right. But at this point, there's nothing you can do about it. And so you gotta cook while the oven is hot, and you gotta score, man, every time. You have to. That's why Tennessee was so good last year. They scored at will. At will. And that was because they had the quarterback that they had. Mr. Jones, Joe doesn't look like a sixth-year quarterback. Has all the physical, none of the mental. You're right. Nobody's arguing that. Nobody's arguing that he does. That's not what I said at all. I said because of his loyalty, they are giving him an opportunity while protecting Nico. They're giving him an opportunity to get viewed as much as possible, to build up as much stats as possible, and in hopes of giving him a shot at the NFL. Personally, I don't think he's accurate enough. However, I didn't think Anthony Richardson was accurate enough either, and he's not. But he is first-round draft choice. So I don't have any of that crap figured out. But I think that's what's going on at Tennessee. I really do. Purple Einstein bringing his wisdom. Don't know about anybody else, but I'm still super pissed about the officiating and lack thereof. We all are upset about that. Wonder which one of the refs gets to stay at Saban's Caribbean condo over the Christmas holidays. You may be right. You may be right. Mr. Jones, Joe has lost his job at Tusk. Mr. Jones, you're not telling anybody anything we don't already know. We know this. Joe Milton is the quarterback for Tennessee in the 2023 season. Period. The end. You just got to choke it down. And we will have a better quarterback in the future. Speaking of quarterbacks, what about the Manning situation at Texas? Quinn Ewers, he's down. I don't know whether he's out for the season, but he's down. And they got another guy ahead of Manning. That's gonna be interesting to see how they handle that. I didn't realize that they had another guy ahead of Manning, but they do. Nick Graybill, our receivers aren't getting separation like last year. 100%. Spot on, Nick. You know what? And just today, I don't know whether you saw, excuse me, I don't know whether you saw the Giants. Who did the Giants play? Gosh, I can't remember who the Giants played, but anyway, the separation that Jalen Hyatt got on 30-yard down the field, making amazing catches, just went, oh, yeah. I'm starting to see some of the problem. And you're right, Nick Graybill. They're not getting separation. Our receivers are not as good as they were last year, and we've lost our best receiver, Brew McCoy. Mr. Jones, the first half. Yes, sir. He, Mr. Jones, he's just on the rag today about Joe Milton. The third quarter, he needed to keep running. He froze and cost us the game. They didn't run him in the third quarter. He ran once. That's what I'm saying. It was a whole different team that was out there playing not to lose as opposed to getting their boot on the throat of Alabama and stomping on it. One of them curb stomp things. I don't think it was just Joe. I think Joe ran student body right or student body left once in the third or fourth quarter. And I come from the background, and I'm old. I'm just an old, bitter old football guy. Here's what I think. Here's what I'm going to do, and if we do it right and we do it good and you can't stop it, I'm going to run it again until you stop it. And if I do it 2 times and you can't stop it, I'm going to run it again to the other side till you stop it, and I'm going to keep doing it until you stop it. They don't do that anymore. I got run over all the time when I was playing football. Going, hell, I can't stop that, and they're going to do it again. Am I right? Any of y'all experience that back in your day? Stingray, Joe's not accurate nor is consistent from one game to the next. You're right. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying is because I think they're at least giving him the benefit of the doubt for being so loyal. And while they further develop the $8 million man, whom I heard today was the actual $9 million man, but we shall see. Mead drinker. Not scoring in the red zone hurt. Absolutely. Could have easily been 28-7 at the half. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Man, you got to make hay while the hay is all there and you got all the equipment and all the hands to pull it in. Right? And didn't quite do that. But I was impressed with how they did in the first half. I was very impressed. I was sickened by how they didn't do. But look, that was a coaching thing. That was Yoda. I mean, he just went in and said, okay, this, that, and hey, 27, you do that. And 13, what the hell? Y'all fix this. And he fixed it. Right? And we kind of went, oh, shit, they fixed it. Including Coach Heupel. Including the rest of them. Right? Second half, they just got outplayed and got outcoached. My opinion. But that doesn't mean I hate them or I don't love them. I do. Think about this. Think about how many games that Nick Saban has coached and played versus how many games that Josh Heupel has coached and played. There's a big difference there, right? And Saban's been doing it at this level for a very long time. He's the best there is. He knows how to fix shit. And hats off. I'm going to give him some love, man. They could have got embarrassed in that, but he was not having that. He was not having that. So we, in our current state, are just not ready for prime time. That's all. That's all. Now, look, also, let me just say this. I call this season at 10-2 in the regular season. That's what I called it at. The season now becomes about Kentucky this weekend, and even more importantly, Missouri. Those guys are playing lights out, and that's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a tougher game than Missouri. I mean, tougher game than Kentucky. I'll get to the Kentucky numbers here in a minute. But let's just assume we win, that we beat Kentucky, we beat Missouri, and we get Georgia at home, and we lose that game. So that's going to end up, guess what, 9-3, right? And then a bowl game, 10-3. So look, it's not horrible. It's just not what we want, right? It's not what we expected. We expected this thing to continue, if not improve, right? And it's not. Now, it also could go the other way. If we lose to Kentucky and Missouri, holy crackers. We're looking at 8-4. That's a disappointment. 9-3 under the circumstances. I'm going to be pissed off about it, but I can not. 9-3 under the circumstances with Nico being developed, I can swallow, and then a bowl win. You know, and we got a long shot at beating Georgia because we don't know which team is going to show up. If the team shows up against Georgia that showed up at the first half at Alabama, we got a shot at beating Georgia. If they can do that for whole damn game, right? All right, let me get back to this. Stingray Jones on there. Yeah. Mid, not scoring in the red. Yes, I got that one. Hendon Hooker dressed as Joe and played the first half. You're right. And I got to tell you, this really excites me about next year. Not about Nico, but Hendon Hooker in the NFL. And are you watching what's going on with Josh Dobbs? My God. And see, Josh Dobbs and Hendon Hooker are the same dude, only Hendon Hooker's a better passer, I think. I mean, I'm just, man, the Vols are killing it in the NFL right now. And that's kind of why I got to thinking about maybe they're just, maybe they're just taking their time with Nico and still trying to work with Joe to at least give him an opportunity to maybe get drafted somewhere. Because really, I think Anthony Richardson's a horrible quarterback. He was horrible in college. He was horrible. And in my opinion, Joe Milton is not as bad as Anthony Richardson was in college. And this guy got first round. What? I don't know what they're looking at. I think they look at potential. And that the whole Paul Bunyan legend about him being able to throw a football a mile and a half. Anyway, I don't know. That's the only thing that makes sense to me now. Anyway, let me get back to your wisdom here in the chat box. Lee. Hi, Lee. Thank you for being here. Poorly coached game, period. I thought they were very well prepared in that first half. I thought their prep was awesome. They came out on fire. They came out calling the right plays. Joe was on point. He was running over people. He was throwing the squirrel, and they were making catches. Ramel was making catches. I disagree with you. It was a poorly coached second half because when they got hit back in the face coming out of the second half, man, they just lost their shit. They didn't know what to do. Mr. Jones, 0-2 on the road. The Titans should have drafted Hooker. Hello. Oh, now we're going to get to see Mr. Will Levis. Remember we had this conversation on this channel about that whole bullshit. Taking Levis over Hooker. You idiots. That's when I haven't I haven't given the Titans the time of day this season because of that very thing. And now they're in a situation they're going to have to play Levis. I would imagine. I haven't even been following it enough to know who they're going to have to play. Anyway. Mr. Jones, Nico can hand the ball off too. 0-2, should have drafted Hooker. Are they trying to save Nico's redshirt? No, they're not going to redshirt. They're not going to redshirt Nico. No. Now, a couple of a couple of shows ago, what was it? Texas A&M. I've been having these flashbacks or flash forwards of Nico playing in this Kentucky game. And I'm sure we'll see Nico in the Connecticut game, which is after Kentucky. I don't know. I've just been having these visions of that, and I've talked about it a couple weeks ago when I first had them. They're not going to redshirt. They're not going to redshirt Nico. They're going to give him some experience this year. They're going to have to because they got nobody behind him next year. Mr. Jones, the longest incompletion ever. Which one was that? I've seen so many. Some of me thinks after that high emotional first half, they climaxed and went to sleep at the half. They never responded to Bama's adjustments after halftime. Not once. Not once. And that's what Heupel said. They were just shell shocked that they didn't expect that to happen, and they should have been prepared enough to expect that to happen. And I'm starting to hear a little sniping about people. Well, they're not doing their assignments, and he's not doing their assignment. They're not calling names, but they are taking those kind of shots. Anyway, it's done. It's over. Like I said, prior to the Texas A&M game, this is a gauntlet. We got Texas A&M at home. We got through that one. We got Alabama. I expected and predicted that we would have lost that game. By the way, my prediction was 27-24 Alabama, right? It ended up 34-20. And you take that scoop and score out of the thing, and it was pretty close. My computer model is pretty damn close, typically. And then we got to go to Kentucky. And that was the third part of the gauntlet, right? So, but I feel really good about Kentucky now. I do. And I'll share the numbers with you here in just a second as we look at it. Mr. Jones, Anthony Richardson, Joe Milton at the NFL Combine. I don't know what that means. Anthony Richardson's already in the NFL, and I think he's already done for the season because he got hurt. Oh man, and I'm not laughing at him getting hurt. Was always surprised. Number one, that he went in the draft, and number two, he went in the first round. Are you kidding me? Guy's a terrible quarterback. But then again, that's why they pay me the big bucks. Okay, let's get to Kentucky, shall we? You're going to be very happy when I tell you that I think Kentucky is going to win this game. I have a base score of 28-24. And I'm only giving Kentucky 24 points because it is a revenge game. I think they will play hard. They can run the ball. However, Tennessee did a fairly good job against the run of Alabama. We just couldn't run the ball. And that's where my frustration was. If they're stopping the run and 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 throw it down the field, for crying out loud. 7 times. Change it up. I mean, they just get in this pattern and get in this pattern and get in this pattern and get in this pattern. And I know that they're trying to break something. I understand that that's kind of how that works. But this is just not the offense that we had last year. And I guess I'm trying to will it that way, but it's not working out. Anyway, I got Tennessee just on the computer model, 28-24. I do believe that they will at least get to their average points per game, which is 31 or 32 right now. And I think they will win this game, but there will be a chunk of this game that will be contentious because it is revenge, and we embarrassed them last year, right? And that motivates people for a chunk of time, right, until they get really exhausted, and then it's okay. I think we have better football players than they do. And so, in the middle somewhere in there, maybe at the front, maybe in the third quarter, I don't know. It'll be contentious, but Tennessee is going to win this game this weekend. And I'm going to reevaluate this 28-24. I'm thinking, I haven't looked at the points per play, which is an important metric for me. And I haven't compared the two, but I will do that before the game, Thursday or Friday maybe, in another video. But I like our team. I like our team this weekend. Did I mention I like our team this weekend? Because not only do they have, does Kentucky have that revenge thing going on? We're going to be pretty pissed off. and I don't think I do not believe that what's going to happen that happened at Alabama is going to happen at Kentucky. They're not going to have a second halftime letdown. The wound is too fresh. They may do it against Missouri or Connecticut or Vanderbilt or Georgia, but it ain't going to be against Kentucky. Can I have an amen on that? Mead drinker, is Mr. Jones really Nico? I'm not seeing that. I don't know what you mean. I'm not worried about Kentucky. The Vols will win this by 10 points. Yeah, I'm thinking 10 or 14, maybe even 21. And the floodgates could open as well. This will be, I think, Tennessee will have the best game offensively that they've had this season. I think. Vols have 0 road wins this season. Yep. They do. So, what do you think about the Kentucky? Anybody got, let's see. Robert Duncan says 10 points. I'm saying, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying 10 to 14. Let me get rid of this phone here. Oh. That's my alarm telling me to get up. Evidently, I get up at, so the latest I get up every day is 6:30. And evidently I put that one on PM instead of AM. No, I understand, Mead. I understand who Mr. Jones is. I just didn't understand, is he Nico? I didn't understand why you were saying that. Did I miss something in the comments? If I did, let me know. You can't spell suck without S-C and U-K. I like that. That's good. Now we just got to beat the crap out of them. Purple Einstein, not trying to get the cart ahead of the horse, but what bowl game does your Magic 8 Ball have us in, assuming we win at least one against Georgia and Kentucky? No, I think I haven't looked at the bowl games. I won't do that. At 9, I think now we have a very good chance of ended up 9-3. We could end up 8-4 depending on what Missouri does. I am more scared of Missouri than I am Kentucky. And then the Georgia game, I mean, that's just going to be a one-off. It's just going to be a crazy, stupid game. I don't think Georgia is as good as they've been. I do not think they'll win the national championship again. Just like I don't think Alabama is as good as they have been, but they were good enough to come back and spank our ass, right? So anything can happen in that game, and we don't know. We don't know what it's going to be. We just have to wait and see, right? I got you, Mead. I know it's a joke. I'm just trying to get the joke, dude. So my computer is saying Tennessee 28-24 over Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky is going to score 24 points. I don't think so. And I think we're going to score more than 20. I think we'll at least score 31. So I'm going 31-20, something like that. But I will have an official prediction coming up on Thursday or Friday in the next video. Mr. Jones, Joe is running all the momentum. Dude, we got to come to the peace table with you and Joe. We got to get you together with Joe and sit down at a table. I'll moderate and realize it's just not all Joe. Joe is not Hendon Hooker, and Josh Heupel is making the decision to play Joe. So we got no control over that. Oh, okay, me. Okay, I get the context. Oh, man. Mr. Jones. What is that song? It's me and Mrs. Jones. I got it. I remember that. So you think he's Nico trying to get in the game. All right. Nico and Joe are big, fast friends. They're BFFs. Okay. Mr. Jones, it's not all Joe. It is not all Joe. The receivers can't get open most of the time. I was surprised that they got open as much as they did in that first half. Right? I just wish that because of Joe's accuracy problems that they would just really student body right and student body left him a lot because they can't stop it. I think Mr. Jones is just just yakking just to see his name in caps. Anyway. All right. That's all I got in case anybody else has got something else. I'm liking our chances against Kentucky, and then we come back and we reset for Connecticut, I think, and then we have Missouri, and then we have Georgia, and then Vanderbilt. I'm not so worried about Vanderbilt. You know, we kind of own Vanderbilt just like we own Kentucky, right? I mean, but the Georgia game will be just interesting. I'm not gonna pray on that. I'm not gonna beg on that. I'm just gonna enjoy the game. You know, we could beat them depending on which team shows up, and that's the problem. We don't know which team is going to show up. And Heupel is right when he says it's 11 people trying to do the very same thing at the very same time. Everybody's got to be on the same page, and he's 100% right about that. Anyway. Yeah, Stingray, thank you. Yeah, slap that like button like an Alabama fan. Yes, sir. Joe looks like Cordell Patterson a bit. Yeah. Just not as fantastic. Now, what do y'all think about my revelation over the weekend? That's why Joe that's why they've been reluctant not to look at Nico's earlier. I think it's because they give him a shot to build up a resume and let the pros have a look at him and give him a chance to succeed in this offense. Makes total sense to me. While they develop. Heupel at UCF, Missouri, everywhere he coached, he's had a top 10 offense until Joe Milton. Well, I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know what the context is of a top 10 offense. Are you talking yards per game? Are you talking points per game? You know, what are you talking about? And really, dude, take the caps off. That's getting really fucking annoying. I like talking football and all, but those caps are just obnoxious. Robert Duncan, I believe Georgia will not be able to make plays because Nealon will be rocking. Yeah, I kind of think so. Yeah, top 10 offense nationally. Yeah, I get it. But again, you didn't answer my question. What are you basing a top 10 offense on? And look, I understand what you're saying. He has had to modify his offense from the past 2 years because of Joe's inaccuracy. But in the early part of the season, it had to do a lot with Cooper Mays not being there and having to bounce around that. Thank you, Mr. Jones, for the caps thing. For the bouncing around the offensive line, right? I mean, that was an issue. I'm just softening up a little bit on Joe because there's nothing we can do about it. We can bitch and moan about it. You know, I started out that way, bitching and moaning about it. But then it occurred to me it's a bigger issue than Joe. There's a lot of stuff going on. James Hubbard, how am I looking tonight, brother? How's my hair? I trimmed my beard for you today a little bit too. Thank you for being here. Mead drinker. If we struggle Saturday, I wonder if that's a sign that Heupel has lost this team. That's interesting. Mr. Jones, Gaston Moore. Yeah, I'd love to see Gaston Moore. I think he's quite good, but we haven't. Hair is so. Dude, I am coiffed. What the hell's wrong with you? How dare you come in here and that's the first thing you say is so my wig. You bastard. So we're just rehashing the game on Saturday, Hubbard. James, I don't recall you being at the game here on the live watch party. Were you here and I missed it or what? Or did you just stand us up? Orange-blooded American. 4th and 1 plays, we must comment the tush push. Yes, sir. First thing I said, I even went and got a video. I even went and got a video of how you run a quarterback sneak. I'll play it. No, I won't play it. I was going to say I'd play it later in the week when I do the official video for this week's game. But then it'd be old news by that time. But yeah, I don't know if you've seen the Eagles, the way they run their 4th and 1 or 4th and inches or whatever. They all bunch together on the line. Jalen Hurts gets up under the center, and then they have some giant dude literally on Jalen Hurts' tush. And then it's just a people mover, man. I mean, and it works every time. And I don't know why we don't have that play. Everybody should have that play. Well, you did call it. Didn't cover 10? Take the over. Well, the over surprised me. Sure did. You're out at a bar watching. Man, I wish I'd have been at a bar watching. Crying out loud. Okay, I'm just wrapping this thing up, James. Let me thank you, Orange-Blooded American. You're 100% correct on that. Stingray, thank you for being here. Mr. Jones, thank you for changing your caps. Mead, have some mead on me, my man. Who else is still here? Be sure you hit that like button on the way out the door. I appreciate it. Lee, thank you very much. I missed Lee's comment. Hooker made Heupel, not the other way around. I don't know if I agree with that. He did make Heupel's offense look awful good. Heupel's offense, if it has an elite quarterback, and that's what it's designed for, and he's had some elite quarterbacks, it's just that Joe isn't elite. Hooker was elite. Dylan Gabriel down at UCF was elite. Mackenzie Milton was elite. What's the dude from Missouri? Forgot his name. Locke? Yeah. Anyway, we can argue about it all we want. The bottom line is we ain't going to be in the playoffs this year. We ain't going to have a shot at the SEC East. And then next year, there's not going to even be an SEC East. Now, then we got to deal with Texas and Oklahoma. Christ. Anyway. All right. I thank y'all guys for being here. Robert Duncan, thank you, sir. Appreciate you as always. Just going through Purple Einstein. Thank you, sir, for being around. You're a fine human being. Nick Graybill, thank you, sir. And I think that got it. Oh, wait, I have a new little, the scoop and score took a piece of my soul. Yeah, it did. I hear you. And the scoop and score then would have really made it horrific, because then it would have been, what, 24-20? Oh, I would rather lose 34-20 than 24-20. I've got a new little toy here. Let me see what can I do here with this thing? Pin message. Oh, that pins the message. Okay, I got it. They notified me that I could pin message. All right. All right, boys and girls. Thank you all for being here. I'm just going to, well, damn it. I meant to unpin that. Come on. Unpin the message. Okay. Got it. Here it is. I'm giving y'all just a bunch of love right here. There you go. That's all, y'all. All right. I'll see you here in the next couple of days with the official Kentucky prediction and some entertainment. Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all. Go Big Orange. Stingray. You know you want to see my new toy, Stingray. You know you do. You bastard.